When I look back on the times that people didn't meet my standards and expectations, 95% of the time, the fault was mine because I didn't describe the standards and expectations in ways that people knew exactly what to do. And so one of the tools that you can use as a leader, if you want to strengthen how you describe your standards, is using the pressure gauge. So the pressure gauge is a great visual tool to show people what right looks like and what's outside the boundaries. And so let's say that our value is treating people with respect. We're going to use the pressure gauge to show what's inside the margins and what's outside. So naturally on your pressure gauge, your happy place is in the center. That's your green, what you might call acceptable. And on the outsides, you have underperforming. So you have awful here. It means you're too low pressure, underperforming. And then you have a different form of awful out here, which means like overpressurized or blowing a gasket. And so let's start off with what right looks like, what we expect on this team. So in terms of treating each other with respect. So you might say things like, we're going to listen to understand. I've got a video on that. We are going to give people our full attention, and we're going to follow the golden rule. Now, on the too low pressure side, you might say awful. What does awful look like? Ignoring people, multitasking when somebody is trying to speak with you, being lazy, not doing your jobs. It's not a sufficient effort. Now, on the other side is blowing a gasket. What does awful look like in a disrespectful actions? Being angry, bullying, yelling at people, gaslighting, etc. Those are all examples of things that are outside the bounds. When you use a tool like this to describe your standards, your people are going to know exactly what right looks like. They're going to know exactly what's outside the margins. And if you co-create this with them so they got their fingerprints on it, then they're going to have even greater ownership. And this is going to make your accountability a lot easier because you can identify right behaviors and wrong ones. It's also going to make your recruiting and retention better because people are going to self-select into organizations that share their standards. And when they see something like this, they see themselves in the green, they're more likely to jump in and buy in. If they see themselves in the yellow or the red, they're going to self-select out because nobody wants to feel like a misfit. So you're going to attract the right talent because people love being around others who share their same standards.